There's a kind of charm that doesn't need loud laughter, fancy clothes, or constant attention. It's the kind of presence that makes people feel calm and safe just by being around you. We've all met someone like that, the quiet relative at family gatherings who rarely speaks, but when they do, everyone leans in to listen. This kind of charm isn't about showmanship. It's about a certain inner steadiness that others can sense. And interestingly, Stoic philosophy has a lot to say about this subtle yet powerful way of being. The Stoics were less concerned with looking impressive and more focused on being impressive, building character that speaks louder than words. They believed that true influence doesn't come from flashy gestures, but from self-mastery, dignity, and the ability to carry oneself with calm conviction. Seneca once wrote, "A man who follows reason in all things will be both tranquil and active at the same time." That balance, the mix of quiet and energy, is at the heart of what makes someone quietly magnetic. It's not about hiding from the world. It's about showing up with a steady fire that doesn't need to roar to be felt. So, if we take the wisdom of the Stoics seriously, the question becomes clear. How do we shape ourselves into that kind of person? The one whose silence is as eloquent as their words. The one who attracts without demanding attention. That's the question worth asking, and it's where the search for practical answers begins. If this idea of quiet charm and the Stoic way of living spoke to you, don't just walk away in silence. Join the conversation. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next piece of wisdom. Drop a like if you felt that spark of recognition, and share your own thoughts in the comments. Who knows, your story might be the one that inspires someone else to rethink how they show up in the world. Number 1. High self-awareness. True charm often begins with knowing yourself, not just your likes and dislikes, but your deeper patterns, habits, and tendencies. The Stoics were masters of self-awareness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This isn't about narcissism or endless self-reflection. It's about understanding the rhythms of your own mind. When you recognize what triggers your impatience, your pride, or your anxieties, you gain the ability to navigate social spaces with ease. Imagine a friend who always dominates conversations because they're anxious about being overlooked. People might find them overwhelming, even if they're well-intentioned. A person with high self-awareness notices this pattern in themselves, pauses, and consciously steps back. They don't force attention. They simply radiate a calm confidence, and this subtlety draws people in. The charm here isn't loud or flashy. It's quiet, rooted in a steady understanding of self. Self-awareness also allows you to observe the emotions and moods of others without judgment. Seneca once suggested, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." By paying attention to how others react, you can adjust your behavior naturally, listening more, smiling at the right moments, or offering a supportive word without pretending to be someone you're not. It's like learning to dance with someone without stepping on their toes, effortless yet deeply attractive. Finally, cultivating high self-awareness means reflecting on your values and intentions regularly. Imagine someone at a family dinner, noticing their habit of turning every story into a joke to get laughs. A Stoic-minded approach would encourage pausing, recognizing the pattern, and choosing a more genuine way to connect. This doesn't make life rigid. Instead, it creates an inner harmony that people naturally gravitate toward. In the words of Epictetus, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Quiet charm, after all, begins from this inward clarity. Number 2. Confidence without arrogance. True charm often begins with knowing yourself, not just your likes and dislikes, but your deeper patterns, habits, and tendencies. The Stoics were masters of self-awareness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This isn't about narcissism or endless self-reflection. It's about understanding the rhythms of your own mind. When you recognize what triggers your impatience, your pride, or your anxieties, you gain the ability to navigate social spaces with ease. Imagine a friend who always dominates conversations because they're anxious about being overlooked. People might find them overwhelming, even if they're well-intentioned. A person with high self-awareness notices this pattern in themselves, pauses, and consciously steps back. They don't force attention. They simply radiate a calm confidence, and this subtlety draws people in. The charm here isn't loud or flashy. It's quiet, rooted in a steady understanding of self. Self-awareness also allows you to observe the emotions and moods of others without judgment. Seneca once suggested, associate with those who will make a better man of you. By paying attention to how others react, you can adjust your behavior, naturally listening more, smiling at the right moments, or offering a supportive word without pretending to be someone you're not. It's like learning to dance with someone without stepping on their toes, effortless yet deeply attractive. Finally, cultivating high self-awareness means reflecting on your values and intentions regularly. Imagine someone at a family dinner noticing their habit of turning every story into a joke to get laughs. A Stoic-minded approach would encourage pausing, recognizing the pattern, and choosing a more genuine way to connect. This doesn't make life rigid. Instead, it creates an inner harmony that people naturally gravitate toward. In the words of Epictetus, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Quiet charm, after all, begins from this inward clarity. Number 3. Curiosity and intelligent questioning. One of the most magnetic qualities in a person is genuine curiosity. Not the nosy kind, but a thoughtful, engaged curiosity that makes others feel seen and valued. The Stoics often emphasized learning from everyone and everything. Seneca reminded us, every man has a number of friends who are more like mirrors than companions. Look for those who reflect wisdom. By asking intelligent questions, you invite others to share their perspectives, and this creates a subtle charm that comes from making people feel important without effort. Think about the neighbor at a community gathering who always asks about your hobbies in detail, remembers your stories, and follows up weeks later. They aren't trying to impress you. They are genuinely curious. This attention draws people in. A Stoic approach here isn't about flattery. It's about listening actively and questioning thoughtfully to better understand others' experiences, values, and dreams. Curiosity also reveals humility. When someone can ask questions without assuming they already know the answers, it signals emotional intelligence. Epictetus once said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." By showing that you are open to learning, you make your presence inviting, not intimidating. In real life, this could be as simple as asking a coworker how they solved a tricky problem, or how they spend their weekends, and then truly listening. Finally, intelligent questioning strengthens connections and trust. People are naturally drawn to those who help them explore their own thoughts. Imagine an elder in a village telling stories, and a young listener asks thoughtful follow-ups instead of rushing to speak. That listener becomes memorable because they honor the speaker's wisdom. Quiet charm, in this way, grows from curiosity and the willingness to engage deeply with others, demonstrating that true interest in people is far more alluring than any boastful display of knowledge. Number 4. True appreciation. Quiet charm often shines brightest when it is rooted in genuine appreciation. The Stoics valued recognizing the goodness in others without envy or pretense. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This mindset isn't just about gratitude for life's big gifts. It extends to the people around us. Noticing and sincerely valuing others' qualities or efforts can make them feel recognized and respected, and this subtle acknowledgement is magnetic. Consider the story of a small-town teacher who always noticed her students' small achievements, a neat drawing, a kind gesture, or even a question asked with curiosity. She never exaggerated her praise, but her consistent, sincere acknowledgement made the children glow with confidence. People are drawn to those who see their efforts and express appreciation without ulterior motives. This is quiet charm at its finest, understated yet deeply affecting. True appreciation also involves honoring others' perspectives and experiences. Seneca said, "Treat your inferior as you would your superior." The only difference is in position, not in essence. By valuing someone's view, even if it differs from your own, you create a sense of safety and respect. In practical terms, it might be pausing during a conversation to acknowledge someone's insight or simply saying, "I hadn't thought of it that way. Thank you for sharing." These small gestures leave a lasting impression and subtly increase your appeal. Finally, appreciation works both ways. By recognizing beauty and goodness in others, we cultivate it in ourselves. Think of a traveler who notices the warmth of strangers in a new city, not as a tourist checklist, but with true curiosity and respect. Their calm, appreciative demeanor draws people to them naturally. Quiet charm, in this sense, is less about impressing and more about uplifting, showing that the world and its people are worthy of notice, honor, and gratitude. Number 5. Ability to be silent and reflective. One of the most understated forms of charm is the ability to pause, remain silent, and reflect. The Stoics often highlighted the power of measured thought over rushed speech. As Marcus Aurelius observed, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth by which no one was ever truly harmed." Silence isn't emptiness, it's the space where wisdom, observation, and understanding quietly accumulate. People are naturally drawn to those who speak with intention rather than habit. Imagine a village elder who listens patiently to stories and complaints without interrupting. People begin to notice that their words are being weighed, not dismissed. That calm attention conveys respect, confidence, and stability. It's not that this person is distant or aloof. Rather, they offer a presence that is grounded, reflective, and deeply engaging. In a world often obsessed with noise and performance, such quietness becomes magnetic. Being reflective also allows for deeper connection. Seneca suggested, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." By pausing to reflect before responding, you can understand the emotional currents of a conversation and respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. A friend who notices this, who asks a question after listening carefully, or offers a comforting word at the right moment, often leaves a stronger impression than someone who dominates the dialogue. Finally, the ability to be silent and reflective cultivates inner charm by fostering humility and self-control. Think of a traveler who sits quietly on a crowded train, observing the interactions around them, smiling gently at small acts of kindness, and only speaking when it adds value. That presence, calm yet aware, naturally draws others in. Quiet charm, in this sense, isn't loud or showy. It's the art of letting your thoughtful presence speak for you. Number 6. Pursuing personal interests with passion. Quiet charm often shines brightest when it is fueled by genuine passion. The Stoics recognized that a life fully engaged in meaningful pursuits reflects a natural confidence and magnetic energy. As Seneca once noted, "If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable." Pursuing interests, whether painting, music, philosophy, gardening, or even studying the behavior of birds in the park, anchors a person in purpose, giving them a calm but compelling presence that draws others in effortlessly. Consider the story of a local craftsman who spent decades perfecting wood carvings. He rarely boasted or sought attention, yet people would flock to watch him work, curious about his skill and dedication. His charm wasn't in what he said, but in the quiet intensity of his engagement. When someone pursues what they love with focus and sincerity, it radiates a subtle allure, one that feels authentic and contagious. Passion for personal interests also provides rich material for meaningful conversations. Marcus Aurelius observed, "Don't hanker after what you don't have. Instead, fix your attentions on the finest and best that you have." Sharing what you care about in a balanced, thoughtful way, without overshadowing others, creates connection and inspires curiosity. Someone who talks about their passion thoughtfully, listens to others' perspectives, and finds joy in shared discovery, naturally exudes a quiet charm that lingers in memory. Finally, pursuing your interests with devotion nurtures inner satisfaction and resilience. Folk stories often highlight the quiet wisdom of those who master a craft or passion, like a poet weaving words patiently over years, or a gardener tending a hidden garden. Their satisfaction is visible in their demeanor, calm, confident, and deeply present. Quiet charm, in this sense, grows from living fully and passionately in your own lane, demonstrating through action, not words, that you are engaged, authentic, and alive. Number 7. Keeping secrets and trust. One of the most compelling aspects of quiet charm is the ability to be trusted. The Stoics valued integrity and reliability, seeing them as central to a person's character. Epictetus once said, "Of fundamental importance is to behave as you would wish others to behave toward you." Being someone who can hold confidences and honor commitments signals inner strength and emotional maturity, qualities that naturally draw people in. Imagine a friend who never gossips, who listens carefully when someone shares a personal story, and who remembers small details that matter. People feel safe around them, and this sense of security becomes deeply attractive. Trust isn't built in grand gestures, but in the quiet consistency of knowing someone will not betray your confidence. A neighbor who quietly remembers birthdays, or a colleague who protects sensitive information, becomes magnetic simply because they are dependable and discreet. Keeping secrets also reflects self-control, another Stoic ideal. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Let not your mind run on what you lack as much as on what you have already." Resisting the urge to share what isn't yours to share shows discipline and respect for others' boundaries. In practice, this could be as simple as holding back a juicy piece of office gossip or refraining from sharing a friend's personal struggles, even when others pressure you to reveal them. Finally, trustworthiness deepens connections in subtle ways. Folk tales often celebrate the wise confidant, the one who listens without judgment, keeps promises, and honors privacy. Such individuals create an aura of reliability that others find comforting and appealing. Quiet charm, in this sense, is less about charm for its own sake and more about embodying a presence that inspires confidence and warmth, a person whose discretion and loyalty are as noticeable as their smile. Thank you for staying with me until the end. If you've read through these reflections, you've discovered that quiet charm isn't about loud gestures, flashy words, or trying to impress. It's about cultivating depth, presence, and authenticity in your daily life. From knowing yourself and asking thoughtful questions to appreciating others, reflecting silently, pursuing passions, and honoring trust, each Stoic insight shows us that true allure grows from character, not performance. The beauty of this approach is that anyone can practice it one small, intentional choice at a time and gradually become the kind of person others are naturally drawn to, not because of what you say, but because of who you are.